Hey folks, we're going to talk about project 1 here. This is working on the stock application that we demoed here in class. It's going to be your turn now to try out some of these CRUD operations on the users table and the transactions table. Now the users table should be basically the same thing, just with new columns and names here, but the transactions table has a little bit more to it, and we'll go through that here. So for transactions, when we go and insert a row, saying, hey, I want to insert a transaction, the form fields need to have the user ID, the symbol of the stock, and the quantity that we want to buy. So we're going to then do a query on the stock table first to get the current price from the database. So if I say, hey, I want to insert a transaction, I first need to go see what's the current price of the stock. Then I need to see if the user has enough cash balance. So I need to go query the users table to look at their cash balance and see, do you have enough to the current price times the quantity? If you do, or I'm sorry, if you don't, display an error and don't insert the row. If they do, we're going to update the user's row by reducing their cash balance by the total. Then we'll go insert the transaction. So a lot more happening here, kind of step by step by step, making sure all this happens, updating a couple tables here or querying a couple tables as we go. With the update, don't bother. It would be a big pain to see, hey, are we changing the price? Are we changing the quantity? Are we changing? So just let it update. That's perfectly fine. We don't really care if that does anything or not. And then for deleting, we're going to increase the user's cash balance by the quantity of the stock times the current price, not the purchase price. So remember, the transaction table here, if we go take a look at that, has the field for the price. So what was the price that we bought it at here that we need to be storing, right? That's not the selling price, though. The selling price will be the current price of the stock that's in the database. So if you buy GameStop stock at 115 here, and we go look up GME, see how they're doing today, they're up to 134. When you sell it, then you would make a profit, right? Because you've sold it for more than what you bought it for. And then enter capital gains taxes and all that good stuff. But anyway, so go look up the current price and then calculate that. So we're just going to continue extending this project here. That's why for the lab assignment, you'll be working with your partner just to make sure you can get the stocks page up and running. For the rubric here, we're going to do 14 points total. So 4 points for the CRUD operations for the users table. Right, have your page that can insert, select, update, and delete users. Nothing special really needs to happen there. And then for transactions, the select operation displays all of our transactions. 1 point there. Update updates the row. 1 point there. There's no special checking. But now insert, right? Because there's a bunch of things happening, we're getting the current stock price balance, we're checking the user's balance, we're updating the balance or displaying an error, and then we're actually inserting that transaction row here. That one's worth 5 points. And then for delete, we're getting the current stock price, updating the user's balance, deleting the row, 3 points there. So that's your 14 total points. So make sure when you submit, give me the URL to your project repository and the self-assessment. If you just want to number them, great. If you want to copy paste them, great. Just remember that rubric doesn't really, it's not interactive for you. You can see it, but it's not interactive. All right, if you folks have any questions or concerns, let me know. Again, the database side of things is not really the important piece here. Because there was no database prereq. So if you're getting stuck on any of the database syntax, let me know. Happy to help you with that here. What we're looking at is how do I use PHP to interact with the database and do all these couple steps here. So for transactions, we need to put a lot of pieces together here, right? We need to do a query, and then we need to go and use that value to do some checks here, right? Do we have enough cash balance or not? So we need to figure out what the current price was and the user's balance, right? Given the user's ID and the symbol of the stock. So a query on user, a query on the stock for the symbol here, do that arithmetic, check the quantity, check the current price, and either we're going to do it or not, right? And if we do, we need to update the user's cash balance. Okay, a couple pieces moving on there. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'll see you folks next week.